Hi, everybody. It's Gene Simmons, and you're not, and you're listening to the Potter Than Hell podcast with Steve, BC, BB, and Dylan. But you knew that, didn't you?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Potter Than Hell podcast. This is your last stop on the crazy train of hard rock and heavy metal. So sit back, buckle in, and hang on. Here we go.
Hey, you Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. I'm Steve, your host. I'm joined, as always, by my good friend,
BC.
And my other good friend,
BB.
And our favorite keyboard player in the world.
Wait, am I your favorite keyboard player?
Sure, well, you are today.
Well, yeah, just today.
It's
and your
Dylan.
name is? Yeah.
Who are you?
Dylan.
Okay. And we have a special returning guest host this evening, our friend from the Growin Up Rock Podcast, Mr. Stephen Michael. How are you, buddy?
What's happening, fellas?
What's up, Steven? What's up?
It's been a while since we had you on, my friend.
It has been a while, and I'm super psyched about having this conversation.
Absolutely. And this is the episode, you guys, that we're going to do tonight. We were going to do a couple months ago or something, and something got messed up. We can't remember what the hell it was. And Steven was the original guy that was going to do this episode with us, and we didn't want to do this one without him, so we kind of saved it and put it in our reserve basket, so we're going to do it this week. And before we get going, Steven, let everybody know what's going on with you.
Hey, just the Growin Up Rock Podcast doing its thing. By the time this episode comes out that we're recording right now, we will probably have just released our conversation with Michael Sweet from Striper. We're going to talk to Michael about the new record and a few other things and play a little bit of rock and roll. And we've had some good interviews, so go out there and check them out. Steve Stevens and Joel Hoekstra and all kinds of things going on with the Growin Up Rock Podcast. So we continue to talk rock and roll, Sonny and I.
Yeah, you guys have been knocking it out of the park lately. The interviews have just been great, and you guys are kicking ass.
We're enjoying what we're doing.
Hey, it's all rock and roll, right?
That's what we like to say.
Yeah, we've all been podcasting for years, but now we're finally recording it.
That's right. We were talking rock and roll for as long as I can remember, and exactly that. We're just recording it now.
Absolutely. This goes back to the playground we were in grade school, for Christ's sake.
What's great is that some dude in Italy is hearing us and going, what the fuck are these guys talking about? Yeah,
no shit. It's crazy when you look at your demographics of where some of your listeners are. You're like, wow, like how did that happen? But we appreciate everybody that tunes in, and you guys out there, check out Steven's podcast and share ours and theirs with all your friends and everything. Let everybody know it's one big rock and roll family here. We'll do our usual here, you guys. What's everybody listening to? Steven, what do you listen to lately?
Well, come back to me because I got to pull it up on the phone because there's a couple of things that I found recently that I want to cite out because I think they're pretty killer. So come back to me. Go around the table.
Okay. He's sandbagging already. Holy shit. All right. Dylan, how about you?
So I recently discovered, because I'm a huge fan of covers, and I'm also a huge fan of a band that recently suffered a loss, the Cranberries. I was perusing iTunes and I saw, the top charts, and the number one song was, of course, Toto's Africa. But the number two song was a cover of Zombie by a band called Bad Wolves. And I checked it out and I'm like, this seems like it'll be interesting. And it's a really cool metal cover of a song that I've always enjoyed. You know what? It's a passionate song about the IRA bombings. There's a lot of death involved in it, and it's coming from the heart. And they change up the lyrics a little bit to make it more, modern. To make
guys like us like it.
Yeah, but it's really cool. It's almost like I would compare it to like recent covers like The Sound of Silence from Disturbed, or
they suck too.
Like where.
Dude, I'm gonna be honest. You're harshing my buzz right now.
Let me ask you something.
I'm sorry.
Could I talk about my pick?
You
Am
can.
I allowed
You can. I'm sorry.
But
it's gonna be one of them nights, you guys. I'm just telling you right now.
But yeah, that's what I've been listening to. Some Bad Wolves. It's a really cool cover. Check it out. Even if you're not a fan of the original, you'll like the cover of it. Plus, another cover I've been listening to Weezer's version of Africa.
That's actually not too bad. It's produced terrible, but
Yeah,
it's not
I like
really.
the
I
version of
haven't heard
Rosanna
that.
better, but it's not bad. It's cool. There was actually a Twitter account that was its sole purpose was to get Weezer to cover Africa, and I guess they finally got their wish. So it's not bad. Check it out.
crazy. All right, BC, how about you? What do you got going?
Our topic, Saxon. I've been listening to stuff I didn't even know it even had. So it's very interesting.
All right.
Some stuff that I didn't even know existed.
BB.
Today I pulled out a box of cassettes working in the basement, and I pulled out the 7th album from Whitesnake, the self-titled album of Whitesnake.
You mean that's not their second album? Third album?
It should be their first, because, Whitesnake, well, I don't know why it's their 7th. It should, but anyway. Yeah, I love this album. I remember listening to this way back in 1987. This was the album that actually turned me on to Whitesnake, so bringing myself back to 7th grade.
Whitesnake 87.
Listen to this, so and it has one of their greatest tunes ever, "Crying in the Rain." Bad Boys, Still the Night, Here I Go Again, Give Me All Your Love. Mainly a lot of the hits, but on the other side you got Is This Love, Children of the Night, Straight Through the Heart, and Don't Turn Away. So it's front to back, it's a really great album.
It is good. I enjoy it. That's what Frank the Tank listens to on. It's on Old School, right, Dylan? We
Yep.
just talked about that the other day.
Old school.
Cool. Steven, are you ready? Are you done shuffling there or what?
Yeah, I'm ready. I pulled everything up that I'd been listening to, so I'm ready to go.
Okay.
So, first of all, I haven't had a chance to listen to this Ghost record that just dropped, but I read some not great stuff about it, and I like the songs that they released early on. Like, I really like Rats, but I have a feeling this record's not going to be great. But what I am listening to is I discovered, so you guys know who The Sweet is, the band The Sweet?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I found this covers album called The Sweet According to Sweden, and basically it's a bunch of Swedish hard rock bands doing Sweet covers, and it's really quite good.
Really?
So I started listening to that because Eclipse is on there, and they do a cover of this song that is called Need a Lot of Lovin', and it really is quite rocking. I also discovered this band called Snakeskin Whiskey, and this album Against the World. Pretty good record. Just hard rocking, kind of straight ahead, Skid Row, first two album type rock and roll kind of stuff. Really good. And then I went back and discovered a Wasp album that I wasn't really familiar with called The Headless Children.
Ooh.
And
You just talked about that last week.
There's some really good stuff on it. I did it. The reason I dug it out is because we just recorded an episode with Baco from Cobras and Fire, and he played this song called Rebel in the FDG, and it is killer. And so that was on The Headless Children, so I went back and listened to that record, which I wasn't all that familiar with.
It is. That's a killer album. And Frankie Bonelli's the drummer on that from Quiet Riot.
Yeah, that's right.
That was like their first dark album, too. They kind of took a turn towards darker stuff on that album.
Yep. And then off the metal edge, I went back and I've been listening to a good bit of U2 because I worked the concert Monday night. They were in town, and I was running security for the concert. So I really enjoyed a lot of that stuff. So I went back and kind of dug out some U2 because I like U2. I like some of the older stuff.
You gonna harass him on YouTube now? Since you're harassing everybody?
I like some of their stuff, too. I like their older stuff. The new stuff, I think, blows, but like the Artung Baby stuff is kind of cool. I like that. I like Zoo Station. It's cool.
I did.
But, yeah, the earlier records. I liked War and Boy and stuff like that. But, it's all good.
Absolutely. All right, cool. And as far as I go, I just got done reading Phil Collins' book, A Journalized Life, Def Leppard and Beyond. Really, really good book, and that got me listening to Delta Deep, which is his one of his side projects. It's like a really gritty, hard blues type of music, and This woman sings on it, and her voice is just like so perfect for this type music, and he sings on it also. And I believe the bass player from Stone Temple Pilots is his bass player also, and that's really good. I listened to the Digital Killed the Radio Star podcast last week. They did an episode on Dark Side of the Moon, Pink Floyd. And it was just David and one of his buddies. His name escapes me at this minute. Chris was taking a week off. Excellent episode, and it got me. I listened to that a couple times. I forgot how much I really enjoyed that album. And a song that I just literally checked out today. It's by a band called Divine by Night, and they have 2 songs released. One is called Home, and the other one is called Worthless to Me. Really, really good band. You kind of think of Bullet for My Valentine as soon as you hear the guitar sound of them. Real heavy with very melodic vocals. Check those guys out, definitely. They're called Divine by Night. 2 songs are Homes and Worthless to Me. And I just picked up I didn't just pick it up. I paid for it a couple months ago. The Odin album came. They reprocessed the whole Odin album. Don't Take No for an Answer. It's Jeff and Sean Duncan from DC4, and from Jeff Duncan is, of course, in Armored Saint. So that was really good. It was cool to hear that. And that's one of the vinyls that came out that you have to play at 45 RPM, which is kind of cool. That is cool. Like, you put it on and it's like, I'm like, what the fuck? And then you look on it, it says, in big bold letters on the back, play 45 RPM. So, of course, I wasn't paying attention. But, there's a lot of cool stuff out there. You guys, check stuff out. Let us know if you guys think there's a band we should be checking out. Let us know, and we will definitely check them out. Couple quick news items. Steven, I know you know this, and BB, I just told that Vinnie Vincent canceled his appearance at the Rockin' Pod Expo 2. What do you think about that, Steven?
Yeah, that guy is, I don't know. He's just, it could have been something as simple as a business thing where he didn't like the amount of ticket sales that were sold before his appearance, but he's just kind of a shady dude,
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to hear what the actual reason is, because I guess Chris Czynszak, they're doing an episode either tonight or tomorrow. I think they're recording. Him and Aaron are recording this weekend, and I'm sure Chris was getting inundated with texts and messages and shit. And I texted him real quick yesterday, because that was his big guy that he was getting for, and I feel bad that he's kind of getting boned on it. So I just shot him a quick message, and I'm sure we'll get the full scoop when we listen to those guys. What do you guys think?
Yeah, that's thanks. So I'm glad we went to Jersey to actually see them, because who knows, maybe this is the start of the decline. Back in the cave for another 20 years, and
back underneath the rack.
So thank God we met him, and when we met him, he was really kind, nice, generous, humble. So who knows what's going on?
Who knows? That's for sure.
He's different.
Maybe he's got an appointment to pick up his monkey.
I was going to say, maybe he has nobody to babysit the monkey.
The monkey, yeah.
There you go.
Get a sitter.
No sitter for the monkey.
No sitter for the monkey.
Vinny, if you're listening, BC will babysit your monkey.
Come on.
Because I think
Take him up to room 587.
I think he named him BC.
Baby chimpanzee, BC.
And I don't know. I texted you guys real quick today to check out. Do you guys check out the new Dee Snider song? Mm-hmm. Steven, I know you said you had checked it out. What do you guys think about it?
Super surprised.
Yeah, I was I figured. Now, is that the new thing he's doing? The shows he's been doing?
No, I don't know.
Girls and stuff?
I don't think so.
Seems very.
No, it's totally separate.
Totally.
This is a total rock record. He's been doing that orchestra thing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it wasn't that. But I think the song was great. It was heavy as fuck.
I wasn't expecting it to be that heavy.
No, exactly.
And Jamie Jasta, he produced and played on it, I think. So it's heavy. I think it's going to be a really good album.
That was the first thing that I when I heard it, I'm like, ooh, wow. Are you sure this is Dee Snider? Because it seems like the last one we did, we previewed, he redid one of his older songs, and he's like in a white cave.
We're not going to take it. We're not going to take it.
Yeah, like that was the last one I remember that he released. And
so when you said
so
that,
he goes
I was
from
kind of like,
that to this. Wow.
Yeah, night and day.
Yeah, I would definitely go see him. Maybe he'll get the spray bottle out again, spray his hair the whole time. So, yeah, you guys check that out. His new album is called For the Love of Metal. It comes out July 27th. If the rest of the album is going to be any kind of preview as to how this song was, I think it's going to be great. Good news for me this week also, DC4 finally came out with the album art and a release date for the new album Atomic Highway. It's going to be September 14th, so I can't wait for that. Our buddy Sean Duncan, hopefully we'll get him and maybe some of the other guys on when they do.
That cover art looks really awesome.
It does. Steven, have you checked out DC4 since we've been talking about these guys?
I have not. I did get a thing from Highball Music today that basically made the announcement and everything. So I am interested in hearing what are they like.
They're just a straightforward hard rock band. The band is Jeff Duncan from Armored Saint, Rowan Robertson from Dio fame, of course, and Jeff's brother's Matt that plays bass, and Sean, the drummer. And they're just a great, straightforward hard rock band. And I know the kind of stuff that you enjoy, and you would definitely like these guys.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to checking them out because I definitely want to check them out for sure.
Yeah, so check them guys out. And one final thing, I'm sure Dylan will be very happy about this. And actually, we talked about this on our show last week when we were talking about the drummers. And I brought up Todd Suckerman from Styx. Styx played Mr. Roboto all the way through for the first time in 35 years the other night.
Really?
They heard the need of the fans.
They did. I was shocked to see that. I could take it or leave it, but it is cool to see a band do something that they haven't done in that long.
I'm really glad I picked up Kilroy was here for that cheap because now those albums are going to be going out like hotcakes.
Absolutely.
After the need to hear the song is going to be going with everybody. I'm really happy to hear.
Where did they play that at? Was that on this current tour?
Yeah. They just played it either last night or the night before that.
Because, I'm about to see them. I'm going to that concert with them and Joan Jett and Tesla.
Yeah, that was the show. They played, was it Ohio or Wisconsin or something? I don't know.
Let me look real quick.
Dylan's going to check it out.
What, they just pulled it out of their head?
I think it was on Blabbermouth.
I guess, yeah. And I watched it. It was pretty cool. It's still Mr. Roboto, no matter how much you break it down. But
they did it in Irvine, California.
Oh, cool.
And they did it like the song coming back from the encore. So could you imagine you just hear the as the lights are still down and you're like, oh my god, are they gonna play it? And then they do.
Yay, robot song. But it is pretty cool. It is. All right, you guys. Tonight, BC alluded to the fact here. We're gonna do a little Saxon episode tonight, and we are trying to think of ways to do a Saxon episode. And so what we're gonna do tonight is each of us here we're going to unveil, if you will, what our dream Saxon set list would be. Saxon, they're just a great metal band. We've seen Steven. Did you see them on this tour yet?
No, I have not seen Saxon. I haven't seen Saxon in fact, this is funny. I'll just talk about this real quick. But the only time that I've ever seen Saxon live was back in what had to be the 90s. They played a small, beer pub club in Atlanta. And that's when I saw them. And there was probably maybe 150 people there.
Wow, so it's like your own personal Saxon show.
Pretty much.
That's cool. How was it?
It was good, man. Biff was knocking it out. It was good. I enjoyed it.
Excellent. And we talked about it before. They're a band that we never thought we would get to see because they hardly ever played around here, and I think we've seen them 3 times now, BC. Mm-hmm. And they don't disappoint. Mm-hmm. We saw them on the Priest Firepower tour. They opened up. They were the second act, and the sound wasn't great, and they had to cut the set short. Yeah. But it was still they're still brilliant though. They're fucking excellent.
Because now they're later in that tour they're doing 12 songs. What they play 6.
They played 7, I think.
I think they played 7.
Yeah, imagine if we were at least able to. Yeah. See the full set, what else they would have did.
That's the crappy thing when you see the first night of a tour,
Yeah.
Because that's usually, if shit's going to go wrong, that's kind of the show that they work the kinks out on. But
And that was the first and only time so far I've seen Saxon, so it was really disappointing to have them have that shortened set.
yeah, so hopefully they'll do a second leg of it. And actually, Johnny D just put on Facebook today. He's playing some dates with Doro with Saxon over in Europe, and I think like September time. So yeah, they started out like late 70s, and they were initially called Son of a Bitch. And then
Whoa.
I know. See, we don't
The
like
family-
profanity on
podcast.
this show. So we told them, we would prefer you call yourself Saxon. So then they changed their name. And but I mean, these guys, it didn't really seem like it took them that long to get momentum. They started opening shows initially for Motorhead, and there were Motorhead had a lot of clout back in those days, and Motorhead, I think, was a band that he did the same thing kind of with Twisted Sister. If you get the stamp of approval from Lemmy, you're pretty much good to go over there back in that time. And they played a lot of shows with Motorhead. Their first album, I think, was okay at best, but then Wheels of Steel came out after that, and that, I think, is one of their most classic albums. And then they took off from there. I won't go into the whole history of the band. Look it up, you guys.
Look it up, damn it.
So we're going to do our set list. What we'll do, I figure, Steven, is what I say, Dylan. We'll go through, each guy will do like three songs.
Yeah, it was, I don't know. You said it like really fast, and you expected me to remember it.
Everyone do 3 songs at a time. That's what we'll do, and then we'll do a count. We'll take a break. We'll do a little hidden gem in the middle there, and then we'll wrap it up. We'll get our encores and stuff. BB, since you're our pretty much Saxon virgin here, if you will, we're gonna let you. How are you gonna start your show?
All right. My opening track for my set list is going to be Need for Speed. It comes off the Inner Sanctum album. I love how the beginning of this song starts with a great guitar riff. It's fast paced. It's ready to get the crowd, motivated. I like it's the beginning of the song. The guitar is a little bit longer, so it builds up that momentum, and boom, they break into that. Then they go into...
Because you want to kick the tires and light the fires,
That's right? Because we'll call this the Need for Speed Tour. So then they're going to break into Bloodletter from Unleash the Beast. Love that tune. Love that album. Great album. Another fast guitar riff song. Keep the crowd jumping. Keep the momentum going. And then my third song is self-titled Lionheart from the Lionheart album. Love that song. Love that album. Probably my favorite Saxon album, and that's just another great guitar riff song. So my first three songs are guitar driven, get the crowd going, rock the shit out of you right out of the gate.
I got a quick question. So we are talking about Saxon, right? Because I didn't know that they did anything but that kind of rock where they just rock your face off.
Yeah, baby.
That is true. See, that's why I'm the virgin, Stephen.
Jesus Christ, BB. We gotta get you out more, son.
Well, so I said he's our Saxon virgin here, so we gotta.
This is hard for him.
Yeah, if you go to a Saxon show hoping for a nice ballad where you can hug your girlfriend and shit, you definitely went to the wrong show. All right, Steven, why don't you go next? You guys, if you wanted any comments about the songs or whatever as we go along, just jump in when the guy's done.
Yeah, all right. So it was tough for me to put together a concert set list for Saxon because there's so much material and so much good shit. So I literally tried to spread the love around, but I'll be honest, my sweet spot was with Saxon really is Denim and Leather and Strong Arm of the Law. That's kind of when I came into the game on Saxon, and I lost track of them with a lot of the records, which is why I love the fact that I'm doing this show with you guys, because it's forced me to go and kind of rediscover a lot of the shit that I missed. And so, I've ended up pulling some tracks off of some of that stuff that some of the albums that I'm lesser familiar with.
Right.
But we're going to open up the night with an absolute classic, probably one of my favorite Saxon songs. We're going to open up the night with Princess of the Night. Love that song from Denim and Leather. We're going to go straight out of Princess of the Night, because at this point the crowd is going ape shit, right? First song, Princess of the Night, Denim and Leather. We're going to go straight into Dallas 1 p.m. off Strong Arm of the Law. Good pace change, because you get your ass kicked on the first song, and then it kind of slows it down just a little bit for Dallas 1 p.m. And then we're going to go straight out of that into a much newer song off a Battering Ram. This is Queen of Hearts.
That's a really good song.
Yeah, and so that's the first 3 songs. So you get the old school Saxon from 2 classic records, and then you get a little bit of new stuff. And so I think we're off to a booming start.
That's a great start to a show, and that's like something like your average and your diehard Saxon fans will go crazy for, and they're kind of a band that I think is remind me of Metallica in a way too. That like even their hits, in quotations, are great songs. Like their songs that they're most well known for they're great songs. It's not like a crap that you're hearing on the radio. I mean, as far as I know, around here, like I am the only one that's ever played Saxon on the fucking radio around here. Because Dylan and I did a vinyl show at his college this year, and I played a track off of the new album, which that's in my set list, so I'll talk about that later. But great picks, though, Stephen. Excellent picks.
Yeah.
All right, BC, start us off here, my friend.
All right, my show takes place in my backyard.
Is it at your free beer
Free beer
festival?
event. Guys are staying at my house.
There's making eggs.
Good that I can walk.
So we're going to start my show off with off 1985's Innocence. There's No Excuse, with everybody up. I just think the lyrics that song, the momentum is just a very good pump you up song to get the show going. Then we're going to stay with the album because I kind of like that album. And then Devil Rides Out. It's good rocker, and the solo in it to me is, there's so many songs Saxon has. It's so hard to do this that does have a great song. Then we're going to go number 3 off the Metalhead 1999 album, Son of Evil. To me, it's just very grinding, heavy. The drums in it, and again, the solo in it. The solos in their songs are just
amazing.
Amazing. So it's like, that's my first 3.
All right, Dylan. Cool. Good picks, BC. And you said, I'm sorry. Hang on, Dylan.
Wait, are we going to comment on that?
Yeah. That's Stephen, have you checked out in any good way, shape, or form the Innocence Is No Excuse album?
Well, as a matter of fact, I do, and I own it, and I have it, and I've checked it out, and I've rechecked it out recently, and I do have a track on my set list from that record.
All right, cool. Because that's one of my favorite Saxon albums.
Is that the one with the apple?
Yes,
and
with the girl with the apple.
on it?
Yeah.
So that record to me is definitely, if you look at when that record came out, because I think that's like, 85, 86, somewhere in around there?
85.
Yeah, so if you look at that record and listen to that record, to me, that's kind of a little bit of a departure from Saxon and their sound, and it's much more like they're kind of aiming for the more poppy metal type tune.
Right,
you
like
know
a
what I
little
mean?
more mainstream.
Yeah, definitely more mainstream, but there's some really good songs on there.
It's a great album.
It's good album.
Okay. No, I didn't know if he
don't
ever
have
said something.
Great start.
Okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good job, BC.
Did I say free steaks?
Oh, BC, by the way, is Lizzie Borden the opening band for Saxon in your backyard?
Yeah, that's going to be after party.
Okay.
I was going to say, Saxon.
I knew they'd be involved some way.
That's going to be a private party in the garage.
Oh, so Saxon's opening up for Lizzie Borden.
Huh? Saxon's opening for Lizzie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Hey, BC, at any point in time, can we look forward to you when you quit dry humping Lizzie Borden's leg?
Probably not.
Okay, just checking.
Well, not anytime soon, at least.
If he dies, I'm just going to be dry humping the tombstone. So.
Jumps on the casket.
Jump in the casket as they're lowered into the ground. No!
Okay.
And, just a reminder, real quick, since we mentioned Lizzie, two more weeks
album
today.
coming out,
Two
don't
more
they?
weeks today will be the new album.
Jesus Christ.
I bet that dude's got like one of those countdown clocks on his dresser in his bedroom.
He's scratching the days off on his wall.
He's already ordered the vinyl, the cassette, the DVD, the CD.
I'm telling you, breakfast in bed too. He said, right?
Breakfast in bed.
It's gonna be a big day for you because that's also the day we're releasing our 50th episode.
That's
so
right.
It's gonna be BC's like
Wow.
But do you want to hear the bad news, BC? You're working that day.
I know.
Ooh.
You're working that day.
Lizzie's flying in. So.
You know, we should go down to the local record store and take pictures with the album and.
No, I'm gonna go down. I'm gonna go down and steal all that shit off the porch.
we're gonna buy out the stores. You're not gonna be able to listen to it.
See, now I feel bad because now I feel like I don't even know if we released our 50th episode. I think that we either have or it's real close, but I didn't know that was like a big thing. Should we be making a big deal out of that?
We are. We didn't think we'd have 10 people listen to us, so.
We didn't think we were gonna make it to episode 3, so we're
Okay.
celebrating.
No, I still got 2 more episodes. We're at 48, so I still got a couple more episodes to release to get to 50. But 50 is already in the box. It's already recorded. I know that.
Well, this is 48 for us, right?
This is the one. This one right now is 49. 48 just came out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
It is hard to keep track
Inside
after a
baseball
while.
for everybody listening.
I wish it was 69 personally, but that's just me.
That's going to be the crown
we're not,
jewel.
We're not throwing out celebrating the 69th episode.
Yeah,
That's right.
God, please have me back on for that.
We'll do all the episodes on sex.
There you go.
Sounds to do with sex.
Sounds like a great episode.
Or we can do a Steel Panther episode.
Oh, God.
Okay.
All right.
Can I
Yeah,
start my
Dylan, go ahead.
sentence?
What's your things here?
Like BB, I'm not as well versed in Saxon as everybody else here.
But now you are.
But now I am. Did I make this list an hour before getting on the podcast? You never know. But for the most part, these are songs that I just enjoyed listening to whenever I would go to Saxon. The first 3 songs, actually, Steven, there's something you and I have in common with the second song. But the first song is Battering Ram, because I think that's a really solid opener for Saxon.
Yep.
I know that they definitely, they did open with Battering Ram with that album, off of Battering Ram. The second song, Dallas 1 p.m., I think you're absolutely right, Steven. I think it's a great, cool change of groove to go into the second song after such a powerful opener. And it's a really nice, just sing-along song. It has a really cool chugging riff to it. And the third song is off their newest album, Thunderbolt, The Secret of Flight. I think this is an awesome album. There definitely are going to be more songs from this album appearing on my set list. But Secret of Flight, I think, is a really cool first one to listen to if you're not listening to like the title track or something like that. Because it has like a cool riff to it, some cool solos in it. It's a great song. So that's my third track.
Yeah, they were like Battering Ram is really good, and I'll tell you what, the newer Saxon albums, they are so friggin' rocking. Like the drum, they're just like fast paced, and I really think that even though the majority of their songs are either war or speed, that's when they're at their best. I think they're just right from the Wheels of Steel album right up to the last album that they did. And just good picks, Don.
And hey, I had to do Dallas 1 p.m. because I was born on November 22nd when JFK was assassinated. So
Not the same day, though.
not in 1963, no, but
Holy cow. Wow, you look pretty good for your age.
a couple decades later. But same date.
I like what you're what you were saying, Steve, as far as Saxon and they're heavier, but I actually prefer my Saxon with a little, not quite as heavy, but with a little bit more groove. That's the sweet spot for me. But I do enjoy like a lot of the heavier shit. Really, since Graham Oliver left the band, they've just gotten progressively heavier. The last 4 or 5 albums have been really quite heavy.
Yeah, definitely, and I think they're a band too that, and you're definitely right. They do have certain songs that have that like metal groove to them, and I think they break up their albums pretty good in that area. You get a couple hard chargers, and then you get something a little, I'm not going to say mid tempo, but upper mid tempo maybe. and I think they break up their albums and their songs pretty good in that respect. Good picks, Dylan.
Thanks.
Not bad. And actually, Dylan was tearing off song names and he's just picking them out of a hat at the house right before we came down. By the way.
I wasn't picking them out of a hat. I know these songs.
All right. So my set, I'm kind of going in the same vein as BC here. I want something right out of the gate that just is like a hard charger. And my set's going to open up with "This Town Rocks" from Power and the Glory album. I think it's just, they could, wherever they're playing, they could say, does, Carbondale, Pennsylvania know how to rock? Does Atlanta, Georgia know how to rock? They can throw whatever town they're in that song to just get out of the gate and get the crowd pumped up. And I think it's a great, it's not a long song. It's just like straight to the point. You could get the crowd into it. You could get the name of their town involved. I think it would be a good opening track for those guys. And then like Dylan and like Steven, I did kind of knock it down a little bit to a little groove, but I'm kicking into Strong Arm of the Law for my second song. This song is probably their, I don't want to say this word, but groovist song that they have. I think that is really just a cool bass line and an excellent kind of, cruising down the road kind of song. Great song about, getting pulled over by the cops and playing shows and, cops accusing them of drugs and stuff, and, the only gear they use is their car, just a great song. And my third song is going to be kick-ass, just right back, boom, punching him back in the face, a song called Night of the Wolf from the Sacrifice album. And that album, I think, is just a totally ripping friggin' album. I think it's just fucking great. And that song, it's a later song in the album, and it's kind of, down in the rotation on that album, but it's one of the strongest songs on that album, I think. And I think in the background on that is just such an excellent, cool song.
Yeah, Strong Arm of the Law was actually the first Saxon song that I remember hearing. I was instantly just blown away by it because of how cool, like that, like it's such a cool build to a quick like drum fill, and then it goes right into like the heavier part of it. It's really good, and a good sing-along chorus too.
Yeah, I'm just overwhelmed by this whole thing because, like I said, I changed my probably 6 times, and there's
it
just
was
so much,
definitely a rotating thing.
so much to get.
Steven, I heard you give a little laugh or gasp when I said Night of the Wolf. Did I pick one of your songs?
No, actually, it was neither a laugh nor a gasp. It was me choking. I was coughing a little bit. I tried to turn my mic off, but missed it. So it's all good. That's some of the stuff that I'm not familiar with. Like some of the stuff that BB called out, and then some of the stuff that you just talked about. I mean, I'm not familiar with a lot of that stuff. I don't even think those records are in iTunes.
Oh, they are.
Well, I missed them
because
when I was...
Power and the Glory, that's the one right before Crusader.
Well, no, Power and the Glory, I know. Power and the Glory, in fact, we're going to talk about that because you did talk about that. I'm talking about...
Sacrifice? Sacrifice. Yeah, that came out in 2013.
No, I know that one too. Which, didn't you say something about... what'd you talk about, the wolf?
Night of the Wolf, that's the name of the song.
What record's that on?
That's on Sacrifice from 2013.
Okay. I'm not familiar completely with Sacrifice, but I did pull a song off there because I do know some of that stuff, and some of it I went and checked out recently. So one of those songs is on my set list, but I don't know that song in particular that you're talking about.
Check that one out. It's a ripping song.
For sure.
All right, cool. Good. Hey, good start for everybody. We're out of the gate. We have 3 guys kind of slowing it down, then picking it back up. You guys are just charging right out of the gate. BB, what do you got up next?
All right, so after my 3 songs, Biff comes out, has a little, thanks for coming, blah, blah, blah. And then we're going to start right in All Guns Blazing from Metalhead.
No, that's Judas Priest.
Oh, that's right. Once again, the guitar and the drums, the way to start, and the Biff starts his screaming probably about 15 seconds into this song. Boom, so we're back in pedal to the metal, kicking ass. with Saxon here. Then we're going to go into Afterburner from Call to Arms. The drums in this song are amazing.
Love it.
And I think maybe this is where we can throw a little 2-minute drum solo in the middle of the song. You know, just to give everybody their due. As long as it's only 2 minutes, nothing too crazy.
Bathroom break.
Bathroom break,
Yeah.
2 minutes.
You shouldn't have to pitch this early in the set.
God, I love Afterburner too.
Yeah, that's a great album. Great song on that album, that Call to Arms. And then number 6, they're going to go, we're going to slow it down with number 6. We're going to go Hungry Years from Strong Arm of the Law. We're going to go back to the day, a little slow, a little catchy, a little bluesy tune, you know, just in case, you know, at song number 6, you do have to take a piss, you know. You know, it's not really a great piss song, but just in case. So we're going to...
See, that's where we differ, because at my concert you're gonna have to bring a bottle of piss in because you're not gonna have a break.
You're just gonna have to wear your Depends. All right, good picks. You're cruising right along here. All right, BC, what do you got?
Since we're in my backyard, I gotta wait. I didn't want to be all about me.
Hey, did I get skipped?
No, you're after BC.
You sure?
I think. I don't know.
I didn't. Was I supposed to write down the order?
Oh,
I'm
I
just
don't
writing
know.
down who went.
BB's only
Oh my
on 6
God.
now. So.
All right, Steven. Go ahead. I thought we were BB, BC, Steven.
No, Steven's right.
Yeah.
BB, him, and then me, and then
Don't listen to me.
I
Don't
guess
listen.
I'll write down the order that people go in.
I'm
too.
number 1.
See, you know what?
I have to do
We don't
everything.
have Paul Stanley tonight. I gotta get
Dylan, how many times I gotta tell you? You gotta keep an eye on your dad.
Boy.
He's old and doesn't know.
You think you would have something
There he
that
is.
would
I know.
do.
All right. Well, because we have a
Jesus.
Paul Stanley little Paul Stanley guy that we usually use, and we put in front of the guy whose turn it is next. So I just got him back out. So he's right by the mic. So that's you. Go ahead. Sorry.
All right. So just to recap, Princess of the Night into Dallas 1 p.m. into Queen of Hearts. And we're going to come out of Queen of Hearts into a little bit slower intro, and we're going to do the title track off Crusader. So we're going to go Crusader, and because we slowed it down a little bit at the beginning, just a little bit, for the classic Crusader,
Good build
we're
up.
gonna kick you square in the nuts with the title track off of Thunderbolt and Thunderbolt. And then we're going to go from Thunderbolt into a classic off of said Power and the Glory. And Biff is going to do pretty much what he just did at Steve's concert and say, hey, everybody, does this town know how to rock?
There we
And
go.
he's going to bust out a little Power and the Glory, this town knows how to rock. That's the next 3 songs for me.
All right, so a double shot in a row from Power and the Glory.
No, not a double shot.
No, he did. It was Thunderbolt, then it was Crusader.
No, Crusader, Thunderbolt, and this town knows how to rock. You guys listening to me or what? Is this
You
thing
know what?
on?
You know what?
Is this-
I'm thinking you said the song Power and the Glory and then the song. Okay.
Are
I
you
told you it was
drinking?
going to be one of those nights.
Are you drunk?
No, I'm working on it, but not yet.
What do you mean I'm going the wrong way? How do you know which way I'm supposed to be going?
Oh God. No, good picks though. This town rocks. I mean, you can't go wrong with that. And Thunderbolts, you know, you got to have something from that album. I think it's a great album. I don't think there's a bad track on it. And excellent pick. And Crusader. That's a
classic.
That is an ultimate classic song. And you know, you said it slowed down a little bit in the beginning, but you know what? That song has a good build to it.
Yeah, it does. And even if it's not a good enough build for you, once you hear Thunderbolt, it kicks you square in the nuts. So there you go.
Absolutely. If you nod it a little bit, slaps you in the head, wakes you up. Good pick. But believe me, there's not one Saxon fan out there that's going to nod off during fucking Crusader. That's for sure. All right.
So now it's BC.
BC. Here you go. Paul Stanley's in front of you.
okay. Like I said, it's not about me, even though it's in my yard. And the woods are behind my house, so everybody could piss whenever. You don't have to have a piss break. So we're going to kick right into number 4 with the Princess of the Night off Denim and Leather. all I gotta say about the song is solo, solo, solo.
Yes.
I mean, and then right after that, we're gonna go into Strong Arm of the Law, another classic Saxon rock band solo. And then my number 6 one of the set will be Dogs of War, off Dogs of War, of course, 1995's good rocker, grinded shit to me.
That's a good song. That just missed my list. That was like just a periphery song. Excellent. Good pick, BC.
Yeah, the Dog of War was almost my list as well. That's a great album. That's and that's one of them you almost forget about.
Yeah, the version of that on I think it's the Eagles Landed 2. I think is like friggin' fantastic on there, and just great, good moment. You got a good momentum going here, BC.
Well, it's gonna get harder.
Oh boy, the grunge is gonna fall right off.
All right, Dylan, you got Paul Stanley.
So I had Secret of Flight as track 3, a new song off a new album. And since there's some people that decide not to listen to the newest album of a band when they go see it, I'm going to put a classic right after it, just in case those people, though I don't know why they would be got bored. And I'm going with Motorcycle Man off Wheels of Steel for the 4th track.
Yeah.
A nice, just straightforward, balls to the wall rocker. You can't go wrong with it. If the fuckheads think that the new songs suck, bet Motorcycle Man will placate them. But then we're going to follow with another new song, Nosferatu, which is probably my favorite off the new album. A cool song, has like a moody feel to it, and then it just goes into it. That's like Nosferatu, I think, is a new classic for Saxon. And then I'm going to go track 6, Searching for Atlantis from Lionheart, BB's favorite album. Just a cool song. I think it's a song that is overlooked a lot. Not many people would know it, but I think it's a cool track from that album. So you go Motorcycle Man, Nosferatu, and Searching for Atlantis.
Nice. Cool. Searching for Atlantis is a good song. That one, I just I don't know why I kind of skipped over that one when I was like listening to shit, but Motorcycle Man. The version of that on Eagles Landed is just friggin' slamming. Excellent. What do you think, Steven?
You can't go wrong with Motorcycle Man. Come on, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Classic, yes.
Love it, love it, love it.
Yeah, I love how you have the classic and then you're throwing the new one in there because I'm not familiar with the new album yet.
Yeah. You're one of those.
Yeah.
I'm one of those guys. I know the
There's
classic.
good shit on that record.
Yeah.
It's great. Plus, produced by Andy Sneap. That's all I gotta say. He's gonna be a new producer to new Kiss album. All right, Dylan. Good. You got a good set list going. So my set list was This Town Rocks, Strong Arm of the Law, Night of the Wolf, and I'm gonna bust into the old 1980 Christopher Cross classic, Ride Like the Wind.
It's great.
From the Destiny album. Talk about making a okay song fucking kick ass. This is great. Listen to the version of this on the St. George's Day live album. It is just fucking excellent. I love it. And it's funny because I was just researching on the song and how it was written and stuff like that. And Christopher Cross actually admits that he wrote that song while he was on acid.
I told him that.
Fun fact.
But I mean, just a great song. Not a straight out rocker, but it's a good song. And I'm not a huge fan of cover songs in a set list, but it is good. They're a band. They made that song their own. Love it. And then the next song for me is going to be Demon Sweeney Todd.
Oh, okay.
From I forget what album that's on. Oh, I'm sorry. It's Into the Labyrinth that's on. This song is the best song that King Diamond never wrote. I picture King Diamond playing this song. It is the perfect song for him. I don't know if you guys out there know the story of Sweeney Todd. There's controversy out there whether this guy really actually existed or not. He used to kill people they used to say he'd either kill them in the barber chair or he'd slide them down this chute and then he'd kill them and then he'd give them to the lady in the bakery next door. They chop them up and make meat pies out of these things and sell them to the people out there.
Just like in the musical.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Totally like sick thing, but like definitely I could picture King Diamond singing this song. Absolutely. And then we're gonna go to a little war time here. We're gonna pull up "The Power and the Glory," the title track from that album. Just a powerhouse rocker, and I've always loved that song.
Classic.
The generals that will win the war just sacrificed 1,000 more. You gotta love it.
Yeah, I love the Sweeney Todd song, but now that you throw that element of King Diamond in there, now I want to go back again and
It is. Go back and listen to it.
Listen to it. Put King Diamond in my head, and
because I was out on a run the other day, and it's hard to tell by the size of me that I do run, but I do actually go out for a run every now and then. And the song came on. I did a Saxon playlist of probably like 40 songs just to kind of narrow my list down. And well, I was out and the song came up, and I'm like, wow, this is like definitely like a fucking King Diamond song. So back to Power and Glory, but just a great song.
Definitely Power and Glory is one of the classics from Saxon, but I don't know if it's, like I said, somewhere I went through 6 different lists. That was on one of my lists. Today it's now gone, so God knows.
How about you, Stephen?
How about me? Love Power and Glory.
Are you familiar? Are you familiar with Sweeney Todd and all Demon Sweeney Todd or not at all or no?
I mean, I know the general story, what you just described, but that's about all I know about it, and I don't know the song from Saxon.
Okay, go check it out. That's your homework for today. Check it out.
All right, sweet. I'm gonna write that down.
All right, cool. All right, BB, Paul Stanley says it's your turn.
all right. So my list. All right, so we're gonna go from top to bottom here. We Need for Speed, Bloodletter, Lionheart, All Guns Blazing, Afterburner, Hungry Years, and since Hungry Years is a little bit slower, a little bit bluesy, we're gonna kick it up a notch. We're gonna go with Stand Up and Be Counted from the Wheels of Steel. Great album, back in the day. Back to rocking with this song after the slower bluesy tune. Then we're gonna go with Hole in the Sky from the album Forever Free. The fantastic guitar solo in here, and this is where maybe we'll throw a little guitar solo in this song. And then number 9 is Stand Up and Fight, BC's favorite song from the album Sacrifice. The guitar start is just fucking kick ass, and another great guitar solo.
There's so many.
There's so many, and that's why they just make my list, because they're just such a rockin' solo. But Stand Up and Fight from Sacrifice will be number 9.
Good picks. Stand and Be Counted. That's one song. I don't know. It's not a like that. Didn't hit my radar at all. I'm gonna have to go back and listen to that one a little bit.
There's just so many.
I know it is. There's. I actually didn't do even a count of this. I should have did a count and see how many songs they actually
The
have.
radar just looks white.
But but good pick. BB's got the rocking out. I'm not crazy about your solos in this guitar solos in this set. Do you mean a guitar solo as in like by himself, or just a solo in the song?
Oh, in the song.
Oh, okay, okay. I thought because I know you did a drum solo already.
Right.
We don't need to piss again that quick.
No, Hole in the Sky from Forever Free.
Oh, okay.
That's where we can throw a little 2-minute guitar solo in there.
Oh, see?
Because the actually solo in the song is timely, so maybe we can use that as their solo.
All right. Very cool. Steven, you're up. See that? I didn't skip you this time. You're up, buddy.
Sweet. Yeah, so my take on solos with a band like Saxon is there shouldn't be any. They just have too much damn great material. I don't want to take up any time with solos. That's just me. So there'll be no solos in my show. But
man.
the last 3 songs, so we did Crusader, Thunderbolt, and This Town Knows How to Rock, off Power and Glory. So we go from that into an absolute classic. Midway through the show, crowd goes ape shit because Denim and Leather kicks up.
Wow.
That's kind of if you want to associate a song with Saxon, I think that's one of the songs that has to be the identifier for Saxon, man. Denim and Leather, come on. That says it all right there. So we go from Denim and Leather, an old classic, which brings the house down, into a much newer tune. And as if Denim and Leather wasn't a rockin' enough tune, Saxon decides they want to really just kind of kick it up a notch, and they bust out Hammer of the Gods from Call to Arms.
Very good.
Very good.
Then we go from Hammer of the Gods back to the old school, and we bust out the title track from Strong Arm of the Law and the Strong Arm of the Law.
All right, good pick. It's cool too because I like when bands do that, and I love the idea of doing a song that is usually like an encore type song thrown in the middle of a set, or even like at the beginning of a set. Like if Kiss came out and they opened up with Rock and Roll All Night or did it the second song, I'd be so fucking happy that the song would just be over with that quick. But a song like Denim and Leather that is essentially a lot of times an encore for a band like this. To see a song like that in the middle of the set, I think it really torques the crowd up. Good pick.
I mean, dude, this is probably, I'll be honest, this is probably the best midsection for my taste because Denim and Leather, Hammer of the Gods, and Strong Arm of the Law, holy shit, man, that's so freaking killer, man. I love that 3 songs smack dab in the middle of this set.
Absolutely. Good picks there, my friend. Good job. Dylan.
So my next, no, it's BC.
Oh, see that?
I'm like, this is too early for me.
Maybe I'll get through one rotation the correct way.
BC, your turn.
You're not drinking enough. Okay. Since my last 3 were Princess of the Night, Strong Arm of the Law, and Dogs of War. So now we're going to keep it going with the heavy rockers off of 2015's Bannon Ram with Destroyer.
Good song.
And now, like, people are pretty getting wasted and girls' tops are coming off my yard.
In your backyard.
In my backyard.
Not getting them back.
It's private property. So we're going to go right back into 2002's Solid Ball of Rock off Solid Ball of Rock, straight head rocker. And I threw this way back in the back. This Town Rocks off of Power and the Glory for my number 9 track.
Good pick, Power and the Glory. That's just a great song. Love it. Good picks, BC.
This Town Rocks has been on 3 set lists thus far, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great live song.
Absolutely. And I don't think they've done that in a while either. Right? I have to go back and look through set lists. That's a song I think that they kind of ignored. I mean, you have so many songs and they're not, a major headliner, so they're limited to what they can pick. But that'd be cool to be at a show that they would throw that in. That'd
Overseas shows are much better set lists, I think.
Yeah. Love to.
They did it live in Stockholm in 2005.
Very cool.
They just get longer sets over there and can play much more deeper cuts.
Dylan.
So my last 3 songs were Motorcycle Man, Motorcycle Man, Nosferatu, and Searching for Atlantis. So after that one, I go to another new song. They played Rock and Roll off of Thunderbolt because they do play rock and roll. And of course, it's a tribute to who, Dad?
Lemmy
Kilmister.
Lemmy and Motorhead.
Yeah, and Motorhead, because they played. Lemmy's not a they. So after they played Rock and Roll, new song, they go into a song from Crusader, Chase the Fade.
There you go.
Another song that I think is a bit underrated compared to some of the other tracks in Saxon's catalog. Really good, strong track. And then right after that is Redline from Power and the Glory. Another
That's a good song.
Straightforward rocker.
That's a great song.
Redline is a excellent song.
Yeah.
Yeah, so keeping the set list strong with those last 3.
I don't think so far nobody's had a weak set list.
No.
I mean, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard to have a Saxon weak set list. Like you would have to be even a virgin like BB. I mean, it's like throw a dart, you're bound to hit something killer off of it.
Yeah, you could literally put all their song names on a scrap of paper, throw it in like a bingo Powerball kind of thing, and pick them out, and you would still come out with a friggin' good set list. With the exception of a few songs, a couple songs I don't really care for, but
Here's a safe way to go about it. Just go to every Saxon record, and whatever song has the title has the word rock in it, pick that one, and you'll be fine.
Oh, absolutely.
Because I guarantee you, there's a song on every record that has the word rock in
Yeah,
it.
that's for sure. All right, cool. Good job, Dylan. Moving right along. My last couple songs have been Ride Like the Wind, Demon Sweeney Todd, and Power and the Glory. So we're going to just, like Steven did a little bit, I'm just going to slow it down just a little bit just for the intro of the song. It's going to be the song Conquistador from the Metalhead album from 1999. Just a great song. And it's a song that when they were playing it live, it would be the drum solo song, which it will not be in my set. But just a great song. And they're, in this respect, they're, like Dim and Iron Maiden, I think, are kind of neck and neck with singing about historical titles and different historical themes. I think it's just a great song, a great rocker. And then this is going to be my kind of on the road kind of 2-song little thing here. Speed Merchants from Thunderbolt, and just a great rockin' song. And what I said before that about playing Saxon on the radio around here. They had a vinyl day at Dylan's radio station that the college he just graduated from, and he was nice enough to invite me to. Like, I pretty much invited myself. I'm going to just throw it out there. So we used to play like I think we played 4 or 5 songs apiece.
Yeah.
And I definitely wanted to get a good variety, so I brought the new Saxon out with me. I played Speed Merchants on there, which was like. It had to be the Northeastern Pennsylvania's debut of Saxon on the friggin' radio, without it being like a XM kind of show or something like that. And just a great hard rockin' song. And then I'm gonna go into Wheels of Steel. Just a great song, a good audience participation song. Title track, a 1980s, their second album they had come out. Just a great rockin' song. It's got a great chorus, good sing-along song, and I thought of it in what I said about Steven said about Denim and Leather being in the middle of his set. I wanted to throw a song like that in the middle of my set, so I threw in Wheels of Steel in there.
Speed Merchants is a great song. That was this close to making my set list, but I didn't want to overload the people with the new album because I know some people don't like that, even though the new album is the new album. It's new music from a band that you love, but Speed Merchants.
It could have been their new album tour.
Yeah. And Wheels of Steel, I mean, that's a classic. You can't go wrong with Wheels of Steel.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right.
Classic Saxon.
All right, we're 3/4 of the way through the set, so at this time we're going to take a couple minutes here. We're going to do our hidden gems. And we're going to do our hidden gems here. We're going to go in a half-ass reverse order here. Dylan, what do you got for your hidden gem first?
My hidden gem is off of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in concert, 2012 to 2013. That was released recently. They released like recorded versions of a lot of the performances at the induction ceremonies, where like they'll have like a supergroup play some of the band songs that are inducted. And this one in particular has 2 bands that I want to focus on. It has 2 songs from Heart, Crazy on You, featuring Jerry Cantrell on guitar, and Barracuda with Chris Cornell and Jerry Cantrell performing on it with them. And then there's 3 songs from Rush, the 2112 Overture, which had Dave Grohl performing on it. And then they also do Tom Sawyer and Spirit of the Radio. They're really cool versions of these songs, especially for 2 bands that you hear all the time on the radio. The cool, different versions that feature some pretty awesome artists on them. So I thought I would spotlight them here on Hidden Gems.
Cool. So it was Crazy on You and Barracuda?
Yeah, from Heart, and then 2112, Tom Sawyer and Spirit of the Radio for Rush.
Yeah, that's a great performance with Jerry Cantrell on there.
Yeah.
I remember watching that. They're spot on with them. He did a really good job.
Yeah, it's kind of a shame that all these bands are now finally getting in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that are actually rock bands because they're running out of shit people to put in, I think, or something. I don't know. I don't want to get off on that tonight, but good picks, Dylan.
20 minutes later.
BC.
Okay, I forget where I even was. and I heard this song, and it took me back to a band that I think we saw in Scranton open up for another band. I think who knows, Caroline Spine.
I knew you were going to say that.
I'm thinking I was
you were
somewhere
gonna say that.
like a week ago, and I heard "You and Me" was the name of the song, and Caroline Spine. I'm like, holy, I haven't heard that in forever, and it's actually their 5th studio release. Is the first one I get, which is actually their first original big time release, I guess.
Right.
But there's a band that's, I guess they got labeled alternative, but some of their stuff.
I don't know why.
Some of their stuff is heavy. A little tinge of alternative, I guess, a little bit.
But they were
overall,
a
it's not
great
bad. They're
band.
real-
They were
and they're great
excellent
live. I mean, so check them out, Caroline Spine.
Good pick. Steven, did you get something?
Oh yeah, I absolutely got something.
What do you got for us?
So the other day, somebody posted one of those random Facebook pages. I think it was on Facebook anyway, but it made me remember this band, and they got a lot of killer material, but you're probably really only familiar with the tune Lips and Hips from the Electric Boys.
Electric Boys.
Yeah, so my hidden gem is going to be Funko Metal Carpet Ride, which is a debut record that had Lips and Hips, and that's just a great record. But what I would encourage people to do is go out and like get Freewheelin' or Grievous Maximus. They've got a lot of really killer, solid material.
Absolutely, they're a great band. That Hips and Lips is a freaking great song. And are they still playing? Do you know?
I think
They are. They were doing like I think they were trying to put a new record together or get crowdfunding for a new record or something like that.
I think they were in the Monsters of Rock. I could be wrong.
Oh, they may have been. I'll have to check that out. Good pick. I got it. I haven't heard that in.
But yeah, go check out a tune on a record called Freewheelin' that came out in '94 called Sharpshooter.
Absolutely, we'll definitely check them out. Let me write that down. All right, cool. Good pick, BB.
All right, I went very, 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 very east. If you were going directional wise.
Okay, BC. I thought you were gonna throw up.
I think you just choked it down.
Wow.
Come on, Steven's pick was good. This wasn't bad. What are you throwing up for?
I know. What's up with that?
Jesus. You see, I just said I was going to go east. It's not like I was going.
I went to say something.
South.
Yeah.
If you're going east, is it tonight you party with the loudness?
Oh,
I was actually thinking I was thinking about this too when you said
We
these.
like to thank the Motley
no.
Crue.
To me, that's west. I'm going over to Sweden. I'm going with a glam band that formed in 2002 called Crazy Licks.
Oh, okay.
Love them.
Love them. A song that stuck out of my head was "Girls of the 1980s." Video's
Yep, good song.
fantastic, melodic song, just like you were back in 1984. Just a great, fun band, and they'll never get the love that's deserved over here. But if you are, like I was growing up in the 80s, Crazy Licks is a great band to check out. LIXX.
All right. I've heard the name. I've seen pictures, but I've never actually checked those guys out. I will definitely have.
Oh,
to
it's a
check
great band. Check them out. You'll love them.
Like
check them
BB
out.
said, I mean, unfortunately, they won't get their
Yeah.
due, but
Yeah, they have like 5 albums.
I'll have to check them out.
they've been putting stuff out constantly.
Cool. I will.
Some of this stuff kind of reminds me of like High and Dry era Def Leppard a little bit.
Yeah.
Very
Great
cool.
stuff.
I will
That's-
definitely check those
That's
guys out.
definitely.
And they're a band that I think I meant to check out. Like I've seen them, I'm like, oh, I should check those guys out, and then something else comes up and I don't.
Anytime you put anything Pretty Boy Floyd or anything, they come up.
They come, yeah.
Oh, right.
That's all I
I'll
check.
definitely have to post them. I was at a loss this week for my gem. I was like, no idea what the hell to put in. Today I was working and I left to pick up our lunch, and I have an SD card in my vehicle that has over 5,000 songs on it. So I just, instead of turning XM on or something like that, I'll just like put the SD card on and let it play. And this was like song 2,222 or something like that. And it was a song from the 2016 Paul Gilbert solo album called I Can Destroy. It was a bonus track, and it's a cover of the Ted Nugent song Great White Buffalo. And it is a friggin' excellent version of that song. The guitar sound is perfect on it, and it's just a really cool version of it. I've always liked that song, and Paul Gilbert is just an amazing guitar player, and that whole album is actually really good. But that bonus track, it just came up in my shuffle play, 2,000 songs deep into it, and it's just a great song. So you guys check that out there. We had a good week here for Jim's. We Great White Buffalo for myself, Caroline Spine for BC, Crazy Licks for BB, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame songs, Barracuda, Crazy on You, and the 2112 Overture, and Tom Sawyer by the Foo Fighters.
Not really, but yeah.
Okay. Go back and listen if you forget who it was. Electric Boys from Steven, the debut record, and check out the song Sharpshooter, correct, Steven?
Yeah, Sharpshooter from the record Freewheelin'.
Freewheelin'. Okay, and cool. Good picks, you guys.
Yeah.
You guys out there, check them out. Let us know if you like them or if you don't. If you think we're crazy,
PC.
you wouldn't be wrong. Let us know. All right, let's get back in. We're going to be getting to the end of our Saxon sets here, and we're going back. We're going to get right back into it with BB.
All right, so my last three were Stand Up and Be Counted, Hole in the Sky, and Stand Up and Fight. It's funny because now I look my next three. Steven made a little comment before. Anytime you want to look up a Saxon song, all I do is put rock in there and something comes up. It seems like my set list, you type in the word Saxon and stand, and you're going to at least find three songs. But number 10 I have is Live by the Sword from Lionheart. Great solo, great album, great song. Double bass drums on this song is fantastic. Can't say any more about that album. Number 11, I know this is on a couple, I think it was on BC's and Stevens. Strong Arm of the Law from Strong Arm of the Law. I love the bass beginning in that song. Just a different sound instead of hearing like the ripping guitar. You have an actual bass line starting that song. And here's my number 12 with the word stand. The song is Stand Your Ground from the Battering Ram album. Great song. It seems like when I hear it, it could be like a very underrated Saxon anthem album with the crowd just getting into this song. I heard it today and I'm like, wow, that's a really great song, and I really thought it would fit perfectly towards the end of the set list.
Cool picks, and it's funny too because like BB's not like a huge Saxon guy, and like there's like hardly any classic Saxon songs.
No, I know,
but it's all rock and shit though. That's how good they are.
And it's funny, like Steven said before, he's like the classic. Like I think I enjoy heavier Saxon stuff than the earlier stuff, but that's just my stupidity of my eardrums, but.
No, cool. Very cool. All right.
I don't think there's no such thing as bad Saxon.
True.
No, not really.
Steven.
All right, so I'm up. So the first, 9 songs of my set list have been mainly, the Denim and Leather, the Strong Arm of the Law, and then we've mixed in some newer tunes off of Thunderbolt, and you've got classics like Crusader and things like that. But the last 3 songs of the set are going to be for that really big Saxon fan, because these are deep tracks that are coming off of records that were not as well known in the Saxon catalog, in my opinion anyway. But still great records nonetheless. So we're going from the last 3 songs, which was Denim and Leather, Hammer of the Gods, Strong Arm of the Law, and we're going to go into Back on the Streets from Innocent Is No Excuse.
Great song.
This is just a nice, solid pop kind of hard rock tune. I mean, it's really definitely a sign of the times back in 85, I think, 85, 86.
Yep.
But it's just a great song. I love Back on the Streets. It's a really good, solid hard rock song. And then we're going to go from that into a song called Walking the Steel from Sacrifice.
Ooh.
Deep track. Great song, lesser known record. And then we're going to go straight out of Walking the Steel off the Sacrifice record, and we're going to end our concert with Englishman of War from Lionheart.
Wow.
Great tune, Steven. I love it. That Lionheart album is amazing.
So that's how we're going to end. We're going to end our concert, at least before the encores. We're going to end our concert with a swift kick in the nuts right there.
And that will definitely do it. Good pick. That was a song that was kind of on my like third to last set list. Like it's just one. Like there's just so many songs that are kick ass and good ending to that. I mean that's a song. Play that definitely leaves them chanting Saxon. We want you to come back and do some more.
So you guys have seen my set list now, except for the encore. Maybe I should just wait to the end of everybody's set list. But my question to you guys is you saw that I showed love to Denim and Leather, Strong Arm and Law, Battering Ram, Crusader, Thunderbolt, Power and Glory, Call to Arms, Innocent Is No Excuse, Sacrifice, and Lionheart. So my question to you guys is, what record should I go and check out that I didn't show any love to that's just an awesome Saxon record?
I would say, right off the top of my head, I would say check out Rock the Nations and Metalhead.
Okay, fair enough.
Steve said Metalhead already, so I'm going to go Bannon Ram.
Well, I played Queen of Hearts off the Battering Ram.
Yeah. But I mean, to me, that's...
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say Unleash the Beast.
Unleash the Beast is really good, and Killing Ground is excellent too.
Again, there is no bad Saxon.
Yeah, you won't go wrong. Like you said, throw a dart, pick an album.
Yeah.
There you go. I think probably their weakest albums are maybe the like Destiny, Solid Ball of Rock, Forever Free. Maybe they're still really good, but they're not great. They would be like my weakest albums for Saxon, but definitely Metalhead I think is a great album, and Unleash the Beast is really good. But out of the 80s stuff, I really like the Innocence Is No Excuse and Rock the Nations. Rock the Nations is cool.
All right, I'm going to check it out. All right, proceed.
Okay, who's up? BC.
All right, we left off with the Destroyer, Solid Ball of Rock, and This Town Rocks. So this is going to be the classic part of the night because the cops have the road shut down for 2 blocks from my house because Lizzie's coming in now. And we're going to go classic Saxon with Heavy Metal Thunder from the Strong Arm of the Law album, 747 Strangers in the Night from Wheels and
God,
Steels.
good shit.
And I'm going to go with Dallas 1 p.m. from Strong Arm of the Law.
Nice.
That's the classic part of my set list.
It's always
Are
good
they
to get
taking
the
their bottoms
classics.
off now too, along with the tops, or?
Well, Lizzie's coming in. The cops have the road shut down. It's chaos.
Good picks, really good picks. I really think that Dylan picked it and Steven picked it, you picked it, and I think you may see it in my set list also. I think Dallas 1 p.m. is a song that you cannot leave out of a Saxons.
Yeah, BB.
Except for
Leave it
BB.
out.
He'd rather have a fucking guitar solo.
What the?
Where's our money?
But great picks, and
BB, it looks like you're the one that's going to get caught holding on jock straps at the end of this thing.
I think it is.
aren't they gas masks?
You call it whatever you need to call it to make yourself feel okay with holding it.
All right, Dylan.
So the songs before these three were, I believe, They Played Rock and Roll, Chase the Fade, and Redline. So from Redline, I'm going right into Conquistador off of Metalhead, a song that some other people have picked already, a classic song. Really just a good historical song. And like you said,
Great
it's
double
what
bass in that
Saxon.
song, too.
Oh, absolutely! It's what Saxon excels at. After Conquistador, you have No Rest for the Wicked from Call to Arms, an album that I haven't heard too much of today. I don't think.
A little bit.
There was a little bit of love for
A little
it.
bit of
But that's a good one off of it, I think. And following that up with Which Find Your General from Lionheart. That's a song that always has a soft spot in my heart.
Wow.
That is a good one.
It is good.
I always enjoyed it. Yeah, so those are
A lot of Lionheart today.
Conquistador, No Rest for the Wicked, Which Find Your General, to almost close up my set.
All right, good call. Good call. For me, after the last couple ones I had Conquistador, Speed Merchants, Wheels of Steel. The crowd was singing along with Wheels of Steel, getting into it. And, Biff saying, "You're not getting tired, are ya?" And so then they go into Thin Red Line from Unleash the Beast. Another great war song. Keep Your Powder Dry. Just a great, excellent, like Dylan said, what Saxon does best, singing about war. And then we're going to keep the war theme going a little bit, but it's going to slow down this is as slow as I'm ever going to get maybe in a set list. And here's a song that I really didn't care for until the first time I saw Saxon. BC and I went down to a club in Lancaster, PA. We saw Saxon and Fozzy and what was that? That other band was so fucking loud, it was crazy. But I didn't really care for the song until I saw them do it. A song, I'm sorry, it's from Innocence Is No Excuse, a song called Broken Heroes. About guys coming back from war and being like fucked up and stuff. It's just a really, really good song. Where are they now? Just a really good and a chantable chorus to it also. And then, and I just mentioned it before, I go right into Dallas 1 p.m. And like I said, I don't think that that can be left out of a Saxon set. It's just such a cool song. Excellent. Fucking excellent.
Yeah.
Sorry, BB. You suck.
I still have 3 songs. Maybe
That's true.
I should
BB's
put it
gonna
in
audible
there
it in
now.
there.
Porn audible.
You don't need to hear Power of the Glory.
I don't want to hear
All
that.
right. Cool. So then we'll go around. We'll do our last songs, and we'll start our picks off with BB. All right, BB, go ahead, buddy.
All right, so my last 3 from before were...
So it's going to be your last song and then your 2 encores.
Yeah. So I'm going from Live by the Sword, Strong Arm of the Law, and Stand Your Ground. So my very last song is going to be Going Nowhere Fast from the Inner Sanctum album.
Ooh.
It's a great, great song. In the chorus, the chorus on that song, a whole band sings. So it's a great way to end the concert. Everybody's singing. By this time, you're already 10 shades to the wind, so you're already sauced up and you're just singing away no matter what song it is. Great way to end the show.
Even if it's not Dallas 1 p.m.
I mean, Dallas 1 p.m.
Yeah, damn.
All right.
They did for their encore. They forgot that they had to play.
All right,
Dallas
so now that we have the encore, my first encore song is Denim and Leather. My only
Don't say it like that.
my only hit of the night. And then my closing song is gonna be I've Gotta Rock to Stay Alive from the Inner Sanctum album with
That is
Lemmy.
That is good.
Andy Darris from Halloween and Angry Gary Anderson from Rose Tattoo. It'd be awesome if those 2 guys came up and had maybe Lemmy on a screen in the back and everybody just singing away and having a good time, and that's the way we end the show.
Hologram lobby to end the show.
No, we don't want to go Dio hologram. We're just gonna go put them up on the.
Yeah, just
I
like-
think
just
there
a
is a
picture.
video for that song. Maybe
Put
you
the
can just
video,
throw
yeah.
the sections he sings
Okay.
up on the flat screen there, but
Yeah.
we're not gonna go hologram. That's spooky.
Good set list, BB. Saxon goes off the stage, leaving the crowd chanting Dallas 1 p.m.
Dallas.
Good set list, though. Good. But like I said, there's no really bad set list for Saxon. There's not. Good job. All right, Steven, you got your encores to go.
Yeah, buddy. We end with Back on the Streets, Walking the Steel, and we end the concert with Englishman of War. Everybody's going crazy. Chicks are taking their tops off.
Right, yes.
Midgets are starting bonfires on the stage floor.
Yes.
People are juggling fire. Men and women are hanging from the rafters. The eagle has landed. The big eagle lights up. The stage lights are dark. The band walks off stage, takes a little time out, and all of a sudden, the arena in complete black, you hear this roll of thunder, and the band launches into heavy metal thunder from the strong arm of the law. And then they go straight from that, as if it wasn't enough. The crowd is completely crazy. I mean, just, midgets are being tossed back and forth by 250 pounds.
Hey, that's little people.
It's crazy.
I've seen that once in Milwaukee. So.
It's crazy. There's three monkeys that used to belong to Vinnie Vincent running around.
Yes. Streaking the stage.
I mean, it's complete chaos. It's utter chaos. And then, if that wasn't enough, after Heavy Metal Thunder ends, the band launches into their final number. And what would that number be? The number that has to define Saxon. The Wheels of Steel closes out the show. And that's it. That's my Saxon concert for you boys.
Good set, and they spend another 3 hours caging the monkeys back up.
Goddamn chicks are looking for their tops. The Samoans are trying to find their liquor bottles that they were tucked in their diapers. I mean, it's crazy.
BC's chasing monkeys.
Vinny needs them back. Vinny needs them back. Good, awesome set, Steven. Good job. Cool. BC, you got to top that now.
All right, my last three were Heavy Metal Thunder, 747, Strangers in the Night, and Dallas 1 p.m. So my last song is going to be my personal favorite, Wheels of Steel. The woods behind my house are now on fire. State police have shut down the whole town.
Our fire department has no way to get there because the streets are blocked with people.
They
The
blocked with the
governor has
people.
declared martial law.
And Lizzie Borden has not even played yet.
Hey, Lizzie Borden didn't hit the grotto yet. So anyways, we try to get some chaos controlled, and I talked to guys come back on stage, and they kick into Can't Stop Rockin' from Forever Free from 1992.
Oh, there's a new country I heard from.
Because I don't want them to stop rocking. Yeah. And then I pulled Biff on the side of the stage real quick. Said, Biff, you can't do it the typical finish. You guys got to do something totally different, otherwise we're going to have a full-blown riot here. So they kick into 1999's Metalhead from Metalhead to finish off the night.
Great tune.
Good
Great
set.
album. Yeah. Love Metalhead.
That's really good.
Very cool. Dylan.
Well, I don't know what the fuck is in the beer at your guys' concerts that these people are just going wild. But my crowd,
They're watching Saxon.
My crowd is being really, really just like rocking along, respectful, not doing any property damage, except for the passion is showing like a bright flame, but in a really nice and safe way that doesn't involve midgets being tossed around.
Midgets are being stretched out to normal sizes.
So after Conquistador, No Rest for the Wicked, and Witchfinder General, we end the show with "And the Band Played On," a classic Saxon song to end out the main set. And as the crowd is chanting to keep it going, we gotta keep the show going. We need an encore. They break into "Power in the Glory" off of "Power in the Glory," a nice rocker to get the band back in the mood and the crowd back in the mood after a little 5-minute break. And then they end the set with the iconic bass line, "The Strong Arm of the Law."
There you go.
A great ender to the set, a nice little sing-along for the crowd to send the people off on their way without being arrested or having to chase down monkeys. So that's how I end my set with And the band played on Power and the Glory and Strong Arm of the Law.
Cool. Good way to end it. Excellent. Good job. All right. My couple songs before that, I had a Thin Red Line, then the Broken Heroes. We did a little war theme there. Then we did the Must Play, BB, Dallas 1 p.m. And then my original set is going to end with the Crusader song. I think that's another a must in the Saxon set. The solos in that song are so friggin' great, and I think that's one that if I went to see Saxon and they didn't play it, I think I would be somewhat disappointed if they didn't play it. So they go off the stage, have a beer, crowd's chanting Saxon, Saxon. They've already played Dallas 1 p.m., so they're not chanting for that. And Steven, I know you've been waiting for it. Here's where I break the rules.
Gee, what a surprise!
I know. I figured I'd save it till the end.
Hold on. Let me figure it out. So, guys, I know I said this many songs, but I've actually got 20 tunes, and I'm going to go ahead and pick those right now. And
you missed it by one.
Some of them are on albums that aren't released yet.
No.
And plus, there's 2 Loverboy songs and 3 Kiss songs that I'm going to throw in the mix because Saxon might cover them.
No, I was gonna do Loverboy, but I decided for them to do New Girl Now from Honeymoon Suite instead. No. Here is where I do break the rules. They come back and the crowd's going so fucking crazy. They say, you know what? We're gonna come right back out. We're gonna do a medley from the new album. We're gonna come out, boom, Thunderbolt. There's gonna be they're gonna do to the solo in each song, and then they're gonna kick into the next song. So we're gonna do Crash into Thunderbolt. Then we're gonna Get That Picture, Let Me Up There. They played Rock and Roll. Then after that, they're going to do, and actually, I think Dylan picked the song before, The Secret of Flight. They just actually released a video for that song today, it's pretty cool. And then the crowd's like, oh, they're chanting, they want classic shit. So now we're going to do a little classic medley, and I'm going to bring it up just like Steven did. The thunder's going to roll, heavy metal thunder's going to be played, and then they're going to do like half that song, and then bang, swing right into Denim and Leather. And then, boom, they're going to end the night with 747, Strangers in the Night. And they are going to leave the crowd just like totally exhausted and hammered and so glad that they went. And they were so glad that they did those medleys at the end. They got more than they paid for.
See, I think at least you get less because, you don't get the full song. And you're like, oh, I wish they went to this part of the song instead of this one.
No.
That's just my... And also... We did not see, they did not play Crusader when we saw them, so that...
I'm going to say that's probably one of the songs they had to cut out.
It might have been, but good way to end the set, even though it's cheating.
You know I got to break the rules at some point. I didn't want to do it early in the night. But, and I just wanted to say, we took a quick little hiatus as we were going through our last songs here, and when we were setting up this episode, I probably said to Steven stupidly 12 songs and 2 encores, but then I told these guys 13 songs and 2 encores. But then as I was looking through the discography of Saxon and just looking at the albums, you could have had a whole set list if you just did all the album titles that were songs. Out of all the Saxon albums, there's 16 songs that are title tracks from albums. So you could have literally do the title track tour if you were Saxon. I mean, you would definitely be missing Dallas 1 p.m., BB.
I hate that song.
But I
said he hates it.
I would put out an EP called Dallas 1 p.m. and I would play that song. But literally, if they decided to do a tour, they could literally play 16 title tracks and have it be a whole show.
Title track tour.
So and like this is I love these episodes. It's rock and roll. It's metal. There are no wrong answers. I think BB's set was very interesting. And going into this, I was waiting for BB to say, I can't make it tonight or something like that.
something suddenly came up.
I haven't studied this hard for a podcast like this since the days of college. I did a lot of research on this one. This was very nerve-wracking. But I'm sure I picked a lot of songs.
But like you said, like the later stuff is so much heavy. Not to take away from, but it's just they continually get better. I think
They are. I think they're in that vein. They're kind of like Striper. They're getting heavier as they go along. And I think they get better as they go along. I really do. And nothing against the the older stuff, but they're a band. They don't sound dated. When they put out an album, it sounds like an album that should be out now, but it's still Saxon. What do you think, Steven?
I think that this was fairly easy in the sense for me to put together my set list. Where it was tough was some of the stuff that I wasn't as familiar with, but I mean it's kind of hard to screw up a Saxon set list, right?
Absolutely. Like I said, that's one that there's definitely no wrong answers to.
No, and I think, I mean, for me, at least in the 80s when I was growing up, new wave of British heavy metal, I mean, Saxon was smack dab in the middle of that new wave of British heavy metal. I mean, when you think about that, Saxon, along with Maiden, is definitely, those bands that come up when you think about it.
Yeah, they definitely were almost like the spearhead, the pioneers for the new wave of British heavy metal. And I think they have a rightful place as one of the pioneers of metal in general, I think. Their sound is just so unique and so hard-hitting that you can rank them up there with any metal act as the metal gods, in a way, I think, in my opinion at least.
Oh, definitely. And it just, like everything else around here, I don't think they'll ever get the love that they deserve because, as huge as they are over across the pond, people here, they've been around for decades, and I would love to go say, hey, you ever hear of Saxon?
Yeah.
But I think now they're actually more out there than they've ever been. I mean, they're more visible now out there. I think they're playing more shows. They're on with Priest. I mean, if you go to see Priest and you've never heard of Saxon before, you must have been living under a fucking rock or something. But they're getting out there, and maybe people that are only familiar with up to Crusader or the Eagles Landed or something like that. Maybe once they get there and they're going to see Judas Priest because they want to hear another thing coming and breaking the law. Hey, this Saxon band, they're pretty. Aren't they the guys that sang, Crusader or Wheels of Steel? And let me check out and see what they have. And then, you look online, you're like, holy fuck, they have like 20-some albums. Like, I'll have to check them out. I really hope that type of thing is happening for these guys. But it seems like you're hearing more about Saxon now in the last 5 or 6 years than you ever have in maybe the last 15.
Easily.
In that 5-year span, the music is fantastic.
What do you think, Steven?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said earlier, I mean, they've definitely gotten heavier since Graham Oliver departed the band back in, early 2004, I think. And I like a lot of the newer stuff. The heavier stuff is cool, but I still am partial to that sort of mid-tempo hard rock, straddling the line between hard rock and metal groove that Saxon had on some of the earlier stuff. But I love a lot of the new stuff too. So, they get it done.
Yeah, they got a lot of good stuff that I think they have a lot to offer to any pretty basic metal fan out there. I was so glad we got to do this episode. Like I said before, we were planning on doing this probably a couple months ago. Shit got messed up, and we're finally able to do it tonight. You guys out there, let us know what do you guys think? Give me your top 5 Saxon songs. Let us know what you guys think, And, let us know, have you ever seen Saxon? And are you willing to dig deeper into Saxon's catalog after hearing us talk about all these songs that maybe you have not heard or heard of before? Just, let us know. We'll go around the table here. We'll start with Dylan, and then we'll go to Steven, then my other cohorts here, and we'll do a little wrap-up. What do you got, Dylan?
Saxon's definitely a band to delve into if you haven't before. I was able to make a set list within 10 minutes, so that tells you just how good this band is, that they have so many songs that you could just look at a couple albums and be like, yeah, that one's amazing. Every album has some great tracks on it from Saxon. There's a lot of bands that have a lot of filler, a lot of throwaway songs, and Saxon is definitely not one of those bands. So delve deep into them if you haven't before. They're definitely worth your time, I think.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot that I can say that hadn't already been said. They're from the old school, but they're as relevant today as they were back in the 80s. And I think that, they encompass all the heavy metal and hard rock fans from the 80s, but they should be winning over new fans from today with some of this newer music that is heavy, just straight ahead. And Biff Byford, man, I mean, that dude doesn't get enough credit. I mean, that guy's got to be nearing 70 if he's not already 70, and he still brings it live. I mean, he sounds great. They're just an awesome band. I mean, I've always liked this band. They were one of the first hard rock and heavy metal bands that I really sunk my teeth into, and they just consistently put out good product. And so you've got so much to choose from. It'll take you, a while to go through all that catalog, but I urge people just really to start at the beginning, or if you want to sample both eras, then go and get Wheels of Steel or Denim and Leather or Strong Arm and Law, and then go get the latest record.
Absolutely. Definitely. BC.
Saxon. That's all I got to say, man. Here's a band that's just, definitely has stood the test of time, and they just keep getting stronger. So I can't wait to see what's next for them.
Yeah, definitely between Biff and Paul Quinn, the guitarist, they've been there for 22 albums. When you say a band has released 22 albums, you're like, you're not thinking Saxon, you're thinking Led Zeppelin, Kiss, like you're thinking big mainstream bands, and to realize that these guys released that many albums is just mind-blowing, and how under the radar I really think they are is a little bit disheartening to these guys for putting out the quality music that they have for all these years.
Under the radar in the United States, I agree.
Yeah, definitely. So like Biff and Paul Quinn are like Gene and Paula Kiss. They've been there forever, putting out quality shit, and hopefully get some new fans, get on a major U.S. tour to boost their music catalog, because their catalog is phenomenal.
All right, cool. Before I wrap up, Steven, let everybody know a little bit more about their Growin Up Rock podcast and where they can find it, where they can check you guys out, and then I'll wrap up.
All right, so the Growin Up Rock Podcast, completely free, as is most podcasts. You can find it in any podcast market or platform that you would use, whether it's Android or Apple. And you can go to the Growin Up Rock webpage, which is grownuprock.com, and that's grownuprock.com. Myself and Hollywood Pooney release a new episode each and every week, and then sometimes we even release 2 if we're feeling generous.
All right, cool.
That's pretty much it.
Excellent. Before I wrap up here, I just want to thank Steven for coming on with us again, and I know it was an episode that he was looking forward to doing with us. We hope you guys liked it today. We hope you enjoy some Saxon out there. I want to thank Dylan for all the great work he does editing the podcast and being honest for here. BC and BB, especially BB this week, delving in deeper than, we kind of threw him in the deep end on this one here, and he kicked ass. with the exception of that one omission maybe. But just busting your ass. But Saxon is a great band. We love them, and Steven, you said you got into them around Strong Arm of the Law, was it, or Wheels of Steel?
Yeah, it was actually Denim and Leather and Strong Arm of the Law. And to be honest, I honestly think the first record that I might have had was that live record that had material off of
the Eagles Landed.
Yeah, the Eagles Landed, the first one.
Yeah.
Wheels of Steel, Denim and Leather, and Strong Arm.
Yeah, and I'm pretty much of that school too. My first album that I've actually had of Saxon was The Eagles Landed, which I thought was great, and then I got Crusader after that. I don't know how I missed Power and the Glory in between there, but just a great band, and hope you guys enjoyed it. Check us out. Check out our stuff on Facebook. We post videos every day of bands and topics that we talk about during the show. We have Melodic Monday that we post bands that are just like a melodic hard rock type stuff. We have Metal Tuesday, all metal videos we post that day, and then throughout the week we post topics that we've talked about. We'll post our gems, and check us out there. Tell your friends about it. Thanks for tuning in. We love you guys. We appreciate it, and you guys have a great week out there, and we'll see you next time, and there will be a next time. Hey, you Potter Than Hellions. Welcome back to the Potter Than Hell podcast. I'm your Steve.
I'm your Steve.
Oh my! And I literally had one sip of beer so far.
I'm your Steve.
That's the problem.
All right.
Question is, do you need a minute?
I need more than that. Take 3. We ready? You going?
Yep.